Good morning, my dear students. So once again, we are starting the online classes or video recorded classes. All of you have written the exams, and I have received so far only 7 papers. Maybe the other papers I may get tomorrow. So far we have finished 3 lessons: metallurgy, solid state, and chemical kinetics. Now we are going to the next lesson. The next lesson is lesson number 3, which is P block 1. All of us know that you have studied in 11th standard itself, that the elements in the periodic table are classified into 4 types: S block, P block, D block, and F block. We approximately recollect the periodic table. The periodic table is like this. So this is S block, this is D block, and this is P block, and we have F block at the bottom. So first group to second group is S block, then 3 to 12 it is D block, then 13 to 18 is P block. So this is the group of elements about which we are going to make study in this lesson number 3 as well as 4. Both the lessons are about P block only. Then we go to the F block in the fifth lesson. So this is how our lesson goes. So it is not lesson number 3, it is lesson number 2 only. So second lesson and third lesson are P block lessons. So what is P block? So how to define P block? In the elements in which the last electron goes to p orbital is called P block elements. So P block element is one in which the final electron enters into the p orbital. Mostly P block elements are present in 13th group to 18th group. So the elements which are present from 13th group to 18th group is also being called as P block elements. So P block elements, if they ask what is P block element, we should define in 2 different ways. The elements in which the last electron goes to p orbital is called P block element, and the elements which are present from 13th group to 18th group of the periodic table is also being called as P block elements. Now in this it is clearly mentioned, this is 13th group element, this is 14th group element, 15th group element, 16th group elements, 17th group elements, 18th group elements. So this 6th group of elements are being called as P block elements. For example, if you take any particular element, for example if you take nitrogen atomic number is 7. If you write the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, so the last electron, last orbital will be p orbital. So if you write the electronic configuration for any one of these metal, the final orbital will be p orbital because the final electron enters into the p orbital. Only that type of elements are being placed in this P block, right? So in the P block, this is a very important block because it contains oxygen atom. Oxygen is the life-saving element for us. And it has got the nitrogen, which is also equally important to get us almost all the fertilizers and other things. And the most abundant metal in this particular P block element is aluminum. Most of the materials that we use, right from electrical conductors to the utensils in the house, it is aluminum. Then silicon and germanium are the 2 elements which are ruling the whole world, we can say. They are the semiconductors. These 2 elements are the semiconductors which are making the whole world very small, right? So such a very important elements are being placed in this. The 13th group of elements, these group of elements are called as boron group or boron family. They are also called as icosurgeons. So when you say gen, it is generator, producer. When you say icoso, it means they have polyphases. They have number of phases in their compounds. So the boron compounds and the aluminum compounds, gallium compounds, they are polyphased. When I say icosa, it means 20 phases. So they nearly have 20 phases, therefore those elements are called as icosurgeons. The 14th group of elements are carbon group. So carbon group elements are called tetragens because always they form 4 covalent bonds. This we have already studied in detail in organic chemistry. They form 4 covalent bonds, they form the tetrahedral structures, therefore they are called tetravalency generators. Therefore they are called tetragens, right? That is the reason why it is being called as tetragens. The 15th group of elements are nitrogen group, right? It is called pnictogen. So pnictogens, why they are called as pnictogens? Because they produce the gases which makes us to choke, to breathe, to suffocate in our life, right? So suffocation and choking gases are produced by these particular elements, particularly nitrogen, right? If it is ammonia gas, if you inhale that ammonia gas, mostly you will collapse in the lab itself. Similarly, the sulfur dioxide gases, right? So all those gases, arsenious is the poisonous substances, right? So like that, choking and suffocation are produced by these pnictogens. Then 16th group of elements are called oxygen group. They are called as chalcogens. So what do you mean chalco? Chalco means they are the force elements which are producing the Ors. So Ors generators, Ors producers, because most of the Ors in the metallurgy that we have taken are oxides and sulfides, right? The gravity separation method and the gravity concentration method and also the froth flotation method, we have used only oxide Ors and sulfide Ors, right? So most of the Ors, metallic Ors, are generated from these elements, therefore they are called as chalcogens, right? Then 17th group of element are called halogens. When you say halogens, halo means salt, gens means producer. These are the elements which are producing salt. Most of the salts are sodium chloride, potassium bromide, sodium iodide, sodium fluoride. Like that we have lot of elements. Many compounds are produced using salts are produced using this 17th group of elements. Then 18th group of element is called inert gases. They are called as inert. When I say inert, they don't react. They don't combine. They don't combine with other elements. Why? Because they are having octet structure in their electronic configuration. Right? Because of that, these gases, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, these elements are called inert gases because they don't react, they don't combine with other elements because they are already stable, right? So this is the main cause for the elements, okay? So this is how we are studying this lesson. So we should know about 13th group, 14th group, 15th group, 16th group, 17th group and 18th group. So all these groups are named as gens. They are generators, right? Polyphase generators, tetravalence generators, then suffocating, choking generators, then Ors generators, salt generators. That's why this group of elements are being called like this. Now, in this chapter, first part, we are going to study about the trends in the properties of elements, p block elements. The trends in the properties of p block elements. Okay, the first property that we are going to take up is electronic configuration. Right? So electronic configuration and oxidation state. Right? So if you take boron, the electronic configuration is like this. Boron has atomic number 5. It is 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. If you take neon, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Right? So here all these elements will have p1 configuration. All these elements, 14th group, will have p2. Then this will have p3, this will have p4, this will have p5, this will have p6. So p orbital is going to be filled periodically. Therefore, the general outermost electronic configuration, general outermost electronic configuration, we'll write it as N S2 NP 1 to 6. What is this N? N is the outermost shell, the valency shell. So it will have, NS will always have 2 electrons, NP will get 1 electron in this, 2 electron here, 3 electron here, 4 electron here, 5 electron here, 6 electron here. So one marker they will ask, what is the general outermost electronic configuration of p block elements? Then you have to write NS2 NP1 to 6. If you want to write for 13th group, what is the outermost electronic configuration? It will be NS2 NP1. Right? They will have only 1 electron. If it is 14th group, they will have NS2 NP2. If it is 15th group, they will have NS2 NP3. If it is 16th group, they will have the outermost as NS2 NP4. If it is 17th group, they will have the outermost as NS2 NP5. If it is 18th group, they will have NS2 NP6. So this is how the outermost electronic configuration goes for all these elements. Right? So this is the very interesting arrangement of the elements according to the electronic configuration in the p block. So as far as the oxidation state is concerned, now what is the oxidation state? We know that it is the number of electrons given or taken or shared while an element is forming the compounds. So for example, if you take S block elements will have either +1 or +2 as the oxidation state, right? Because they give 1 electron, they give 2 electrons. That's what we studied in +1 book. So here, the p block elements will have positive oxidation state and also negative oxidation state. They will have both. Right? Mostly the elements fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine will have negative. Oxygen, sulfur also will have negative. Nitrogen, phosphorus also will have negative. But the elements which are present at the bottom will have positive oxidation state. And the elements which are circled here or mostly will have positive as well as negative. Right? The elements which are circled here are the metalloids. And these elements are metal, non-metals. These elements are metals. Mostly metals will have positive oxidation state and non-metals will have negative oxidation state. Halogens generally will have negative oxidation state because they have their, for example, if you write chlorine, it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p7. So they got 3p5. They need one more electron to get octet structure. Therefore, they will always get 1 electron to have the octet structure. Therefore, their oxidation state is always for oxidation state of halogen is -1. But the highest oxidation state for all the elements will be the number of outermost electron. So கடைசி ஆர்பிட்ல எத்தனை எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்குதோ அதுதான் ஹையஸ்ட் ஆக்சிடேஷன் ஸ்டேட் ஆகும். இங்க கடைசி ஆர்பிட்ல எத்தனை எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் இருக்குது? 3. இங்க எத்தனை இருக்குது? 4. இங்க எத்தனை இருக்குது? 5. இங்க எத்தனை இருக்குது? 6. இங்க எத்தனை இருக்குது? 7. இங்க எத்தனை இருக்குது? 8. So the number of valence electron will always give the highest oxidation state, because only those number of electrons can be involved in the bonding, in making the molecules. So this is the general information regarding electronic configuration and oxidation state. So as far as the oxidation state is concerned, they will have both positive as well as the negative oxidation states, because we have metals as well as non-metals in this P block. Then we will continue to the other property. The second property we will take up.